Channeling is the process where I can set my personality aside to allow my guides to use my body to teach their messages. In 1997, I had a reading by a very skilled psychic who predicted that I would become a channel. And frankly, I didn't believe him. I was familiar with channeling, but I wasn't interested in being a channel in any way. So I was surprised but not surprised when a few years later I was doing a chant with some friends of mine, and at the end of the chant we were all sitting in a circle, and all of a sudden this voice came through me, gave a message, and then said, "We are the Elohim and we are pleased to have been with you today." And I said, "Oh my God," basically. And I wasn't really afraid, but it was just so big and it felt so conspicuous. That was the part that really triggered me, was that I felt so conspicuous that I said, well, that's never going to happen again. And it didn't, actually, for quite some time. All right, here's the list. We'll start at the root chakra. So the guardians, when the guardians come in, I can feel the energy in the room in a completely different way than I can with anybody else or by myself. Everything feels different in the room. I can literally feel people's chakras. When the girls come in, it's more of just happy, friendly. There's not a strong feeling component that goes with the girls. Then, let's see, we have the Visionaries. When the Visionaries come in, they literally just feel like they're reading from a script. Every time it feels like they're reading from a script. They are the most forthright of the whole bunch, and they're so different to channel because it's like someone's just reading at a lectern the whole time. The Matriarch, when the Matriarch comes in, oh my word, I literally feel like my body expands all the way out to where I can feel everyone inside my body. And it's all about love. Elohim just feels like me, feels like my best friend, feels like someone I've known for 5 million years, someone, they're just like your favorite pair of jeans. Let's see, the Warrior, oh my goodness. The Warrior feels very large, very intense, they're sort of bulky, and the Warrior has a very, very distinct feature in that every single time I channel the Warrior, there's a movie playing in my head. It's literally like going to the movies. And it's a very, very detailed movie that I watch while they tell their story. So I often wish I was an artist so I could draw out the stories that I see, because they're amazing. Fred only comes in, at this point, only comes in about to here, to my brow, and it feels like popcorn popping in the top of my head. Yeah. And it's interesting, too, how they all use my body differently. The Visionaries tend to sit very forward in the chair. The girls love to sit sideways in the chair. The Warrior often sort of puts his leg up and sort of slumps forward. Fred can't figure anything out, so he hasn't really made that strong of an impression. The Matriarch, like I said, it's all about the heart. It just feels like the eating thing. So the group loves to feed me while I'm channeling, and when Elohim eats, it's as literally, I'll just say it, it's orgasmic. I don't have an orgasm, but they're what seems like an orgasm. Brownies, chocolate, grapes, cheese. They like very straightforward food. They absolutely do not like it complicated. We fed them a peanut M&M and they were just so cranky about it. The other thing that's funny about Elohim is that he absolutely will go bananas if I sit in the chair with shorts on and stick to the chair. If my legs stick to the chair, they think that that is absolutely, they cannot imagine why we would experience that, and so it's pretty hilarious. The girls tried to eat once, and there's a video. Go to the girls page on the website. I'm not even going to try to explain it. It's just, you got to see it to believe it. None of the rest of them get to eat. That's sort of my rule. And none of them get to drink. I think what's unique about me, probably, this is the thing that seems to shock people the most, so maybe that's what makes me unique, is that when Elohim first came in, one, I said, oh no, I'm never doing this, and didn't do it for like 4 years. Most people go, oh, you had this great gift, and you didn't. I'm like, it made me nervous, so I didn't pursue it. But the other thing I think that makes me really unique is when Elohim first came in and we started working together, this is how they talked, and I'm not exaggerating. hello, we are, and I got about that, and I said, no, this is boring. I'm not doing this. I will fall asleep. I can't stand it. Stop. I said, you either need to get hipper or this is not going to happen. I think that makes me a little unique, because I think most people probably would have just gone, oh, I'm channeling Elohim, or something to that degree. And I was like, dude, ain't happening. So get it together. And they have, but they've had to grow a lot in order to be part of this whole. I, most of the time, feel like I'm slightly behind and to the left of my actual body. There have been times when I felt like I was actually sitting in the next chair over, but most of the time I feel like I'm slightly behind and to the left of my body. So my body's doing stuff and I'm not actually aware of it. It's so hard to explain. It's like all of a sudden I realize my mouth has been moving, and all of a sudden I realize sounds. And I want to make it real clear. This isn't possession, because at any second I can say no, and it will stop completely and never happen again. It's all by choice and openness and willingness. Is that I'm close by, I'm present, I know what's going on. I know what's being said. Sometimes Elohim will say Veronica's telling us, or Veronica's showing us, or Veronica's arguing with us. So I'm still participating, but I'm really participating without using my body. When you think a thought inside your head, when you're talking to yourself inside your head, that part of you that's talking, that's more like what it feels like. That person doesn't have a body, but they're still very much participating. I've never thought of it that way, but that is how it feels. I've observed the fact that I channel a lot of different groups, that I channel every week, that I walk around, that I have my eyes open, that I eat, that I drink water. These things don't seem to be all that common. Eyes open happened maybe a couple years ago with Elohim, and it was always a big thing. Are you going to open your eyes when channeling Elohim? Are you going to open your eyes? And I always thought it would be overstimulating to open my eyes and start picking up on more energy. And then I started doing a lot of private sessions, and because I was at my house and there was no one around, every once in a while Elohim would just open my eyes during the private sessions. And they get really fascinated with things, and so during the private session they would be playing with the beads, and they would be fiddling around with the mouse, and you know, anything on my desk they would play with while they're doing the channeling. So after we had some practice with eyes open, one meeting they just opened my eyes during the channeling, and it literally, this was one of the most shocking things that's ever happened in the whole channeling. It felt completely normal. Right like that. 6 years of doing it one way, boom. It felt perfectly right. And Elohim, when Elohim is coming through, eyes open, looking at everybody, I don't see auras, I don't see anything different, but Elohim does. So I don't perceive everybody differently than I do normally, but Elohim does. So they'll look at your energy and they'll see things going on. And then I know what they're seeing, but I don't see it. Welcome to my world. In the past, I've channeled Mother Mary. I stopped channeling Mother Mary some time back, not for any specific reason, but I really believe that Mother Mary's energy is part of the girls. To me, they feel just the same as when I used to channel Mother Mary. They feel very, very much similar. Mother Mary, I always described, and people sometimes had a problem with this, but I always described as she wants to come over, she wants to put on pajamas, she wants to sit up on the bed, she wants to, you know, put like some kind of a cleansing mask on her face and paint her toenails and gossip about boys and relationships. Mostly, we talked about lots of other serious stuff, and she would do these amazing meditations, but that was always her energy. It's like, oh, okay, what are we going to talk about tonight, girls? That's how she was. So that's why for me personally, the most inspiring thing I ever channeled didn't happen that long ago, and it was the idea that, you know, there's no final exam. There's no final exam. That it's not like you have to get a specific answer. We're not here to figure it out in order to somehow get that gold star. It's all an unfolding, constant unfolding. And that took so much pressure off of me, because it wasn't like I had to ramp up to finish. It was, every moment really is just fine. And when they said, you know, there are no big answers. I was so relieved. So to me that was inspiring because it helped me relax into humanness. Well, it's given me my career. It's given me an enormous circle of friends and colleagues and people that I interact with, a lot of them online, of course, but it's given me the ability to be in my spiritual growth 24/7. And that's both an incredible challenge and an incredible gift. So, to have Elohim, wait, this side, yak, 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 yak at me all the time, you don't get away with much. And that's nice in the sense that, you know, it's like a private session 24/7. And other times I have to just say, shut up, I'm going to the movies to watch things blow up, I need to just take a break from you right now. Oh yeah, I can talk to Elohim at any second of the day I want to. And people are like, oh, that must be great! And sometimes it is. And other times it's like, they're just having so much fun. Because we're in a new place. See, they love new things. They find everything fascinating. So, oh, where are we? Where are we? Where are we? What are we doing? Now I want to tell a little quick funny story that I don't know if I ever told anybody before. Maybe I did, but also, they're like little 3-year-olds, but also they can't handle a lot of things. So if like I invite them in a very overstimulated environment, then we both get overstimulated. So there is still that buffer that I create by being human that allows them to access the physical form but doesn't overwhelm either one of us. So there's that. Spirituality. I believe spirituality is the commitment to improving oneself, to growing, to looking at the things that you don't appreciate or don't like or don't want in your life and transforming them.